Since the COVID, I'm clenching my face constantly.
I'm recording. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Inspired Tarot Map. We were just practicing our pronunciation with Letty. Well, in this episode, I have invited Laetitia Casano, who you might know from Instagram as Letty Luna, and I'm going to call you Letty. Laetitia, okay?
Yes.
Nice to have you on, Letty. Letty is a wonderful artist, and we have been in touch, Letty, as we kind of established through this virtual reality for a few years already. And I was just recently telling you how I kind of feel like I have been watching you spread your wings and come to this beautiful kind of blossoming state when you actually started sharing all these amazing talents of yours. And I thought like it's lovely to, just show you to the world through my little space. And I hope that people will appreciate our get together. We are going to be talking about a few different things. We're going to be talking about your Inner Queen Oracle deck. We're going to be talking about your new Oracle deck. We're going to be talking about those amazing sculptures that are behind you, and also about just general, like it's going to be probably woven through the work that you do with the moon, with Venus, just on the sacred feminine side, and like your process, your probably healing process in general. And I think through doing your process, you're also doing it somehow for us, because I think no man is an island and we all connected and we all inspire one another. So thank you for agreeing to, jump on Inspired Tarot Map and share with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. It's an honor.
I'm going to leave it as a blurb, like how this is funny little things. I think this is cool.
Yes.
Letty, can I ask you first about your ancestry? Like where you're from, what's your nationality, who are your ancestors, and maybe also where you live right now?
So I live in Barcelona in Spain City. I've been living here for 13 years. And I'm from France. I was born in France, and my parents, they were born in France, but all my family is Italian, actually. So the parents of my mother, they are from northern Italy. And my grandfather, he came maybe when he was 30 in France. And he was married to my grandmother. She was a cousin, but not from blood, because she was not the daughter of her dad, and she wanted to be a nun. My grandmother, she was very devoted to the church, to Christ, to Mary. And she was placed as a young girl. She was placed to work in houses, to take care of the house and of the kids. And I think she had very little say in her life from the beginning. And she wanted to be a nun, and she had to marry my grandfather.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask, so she never actually got a chance to become a nun?
No.
She got married as that's what you do, right? When you're a woman. You just have to marry, you can't be a nun. Sometimes change, but it's interesting how people didn't have the say very often of what they truly want to do, especially when they were women. So right now you live in Barcelona, and that's where all the magic is happening.
Yeah.
So I would like to speak firstly about this Inner Queen Oracle, because this is your, let's call it, oldest project. I think it's 2017, right? That you did your deck first. For everybody who watches, you can guys vote. Do you prefer, the color version, which means it has the background in different colors of the deck? And you can see also my Instagram IGTV video where I show this deck one next to another. Or do you prefer the white background deck, which is maybe, a bit more elegant, but not maybe as striking as the color? So on IG, Letty, it was kind of half-half, I think.
Yeah.
People were going, oh, color, definitely color, or no, definitely white, and it goes with many decks. I have to say for myself that I love both, and I think the white one is really elegant, and it's really coherent, and it's beautiful. But as we spoke before, I actually see myself very often reaching for the color one. I don't know, it just has a little bit more, maybe it depends on the time of the year, has a little bit more of a statement somehow because of the colorful backgrounds. Which one is your favorite? Like if you just were to choose from, you know, which one are you using more often?
I would say the color one too, but you know, I really like both, so that's why I'm selling both. Otherwise, I would just have chosen one.
Yeah, yeah, and sometimes, you know, they won't break anybody's bank account. I think having both also has a, if you want to, if you can afford it, like I'm kind of happy that I have both, because this one is much more, maybe, I don't know, just different feel to it, a bit more peaceful, a bit more kind of subdued, and the color is much more energetic somehow. So can you tell us about this Inner Queen Oracle? Like, I know that it was a process that you kind of created for yourself, was a healing process. So can you just give us some more background and context, or what happened? How did you make it, and why did you make it?
So it was in March 2017, and in March there was a challenge by Kristen from Over the Moon Academy. I think you just did an interview with her.
Oh yeah.
She did a challenge on Instagram to create an oracle in 30 days. So there was a prompt every day to create a card. And I decided, I was in a dark place. I was in one of those dark night of the soul moment. And I decided to connect with my femininity, with my body, and find back my self-love and strength, because I was hurting from a breakup, and I felt unworthy, and I felt terribly hurt. So I put all my energy and all my heart in the cards, and this pushed me through. It pushed me through I healed from the breakup somehow. It's like I could express myself there. I could focus my energy there. And I got such a good feedback from the community who was participating as well. So encouraging, made me feel great. And I enjoyed very much doing it, and it helped me connect now with the feminine side and the self-love.
I loved it. Yeah, it's somehow amazing about this oracle that it's so simple, but I feel like, and I find it so interesting. I just recorded another interview with Rachel that I'm going to post tomorrow, but she mentions this too, that she created the deck because she was in the darkest place. You know, you hear so often that creators actually use this creative flow and the access that creativity gives you to work through emotional baggage or emotional, you know, disappointments, hurt, and so on, and pain. And I just thought like how spectacular that is, and how often I hear it on my during my interviews, why people created the decks. Very often it's not like, oh, I was so happy and I just couldn't wait to, you know, make those cards. It's like usually you go through something really deep, and art allows you to bring it to life and work through it. But at the same time, as I said, you did it for yourself, but somehow you also allowed other women to be part of it. And I think that's really kind of cool and telling, that whenever we do any type of work on ourselves, or any type of healing, or any type of acceptance, or any type of, you know, just understanding and loving processes, like that's healing not only for you, like you really ripple that out somehow, it just moves on. So I find it really beautiful. So you printed the deck in 2017 after the challenge, and you just you sold out, because when we connected about the deck, you didn't really, you didn't.
Yeah, it's not that I sold out. I did like Kristen. I put it on Printer Studio. It was available to be purchased, and at some point they decided it was not okay to print it because of the nudity.
Okay, now I have to laugh because I'm sorry. There's like
Yeah.
no arms, no legs. I mean, no feet. You know, how is that a
So
scary?
yeah, I got on one the last order I made. They sent me a message. They reimbursed me and they said you cannot print this anymore. We changed the nudity policy and we cannot print this. And this was in 2019, in summer 2019. And I just let it go because anyway, to be real and honest, it wasn't bringing me much profit. So it was not worth for me the hassle of fighting with them and I just let it go. I thought, okay, I'm focusing on what I'm doing now, and I don't have energy to put into fighting for this.
Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know about it that you actually were like approached that it's like too much nudity. I can't believe it. Actually, it's really huge.
Yeah, I was also thinking this is crazy, but you know, I was angry, but I decided not to focus on this.
Well, you probably couldn't have done anything. It's not like maybe they changed their policy, right? So what, are you going to be angry? They're probably not going to change their policy anyway, so we're just wasting time basically. But okay, so then the deck disappeared. I know that some of our people in our community bought the deck. I know that like quite a lot of people had the deck, right?
Yeah.
And
that's the people that were present when I created it. I mean, most of my customers, if I should call them customers, I don't know, but most of the people who got the deck, they were present while I was creating it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think they felt the energy.
Yeah, and I think they probably were like excited about the whole project.
Yeah.
They were part of it. It's really a vulnerable place to put yourself out there like this. I always admire this about artists and people who, you know, even about myself, like to just show up and share and, you know, just are not afraid to make mistakes, like, oops, sorry, you know, it happens, right? We're all humans. But yeah, I really appreciate when people, especially through art, show they, you know, the ability to heal, the ability to create, the ability to kind of transform and move on. So this deck right now is coming back, right? You would like to like make it available?
Yeah, so what happened is that I'm doing other projects that contain nudity and I ran into the same problem. So I had to find a solution. yeah, I had to find a solution. Yeah, but I think this is my path. I think this is, maybe it will not happen to somebody else.
Maybe, yeah, it's interesting what you're saying, because maybe you're right. Like you've done so much work on this embodiment, on body, or bringing love back to the body, and now you're constantly having an obstacle. Well, it's nudity, you can't print it. The cat, he's probably a pornographic cat, really, you know. He's just staring at the nude body. So I'm sorry, this nude body grew wings. Ooh, this is really dangerous. No, I know it. I'm a bit like kind of disappointed because I have also this personal thing going on that I get annoyed when people warn me, naked body, warning, there will be, you know, if they're showing decks or something, they're showing cards online and they go, oh, there's warning now, there's going to be a naked body. It always annoys me. I'm thinking, why are you warning me about human naked body? It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I don't want to be warned about it. Anybody can handle it. Children see naked bodies. Like, why are we doing this whole kabang about the body? So it's interesting that you, it's probably one of the lessons that you kind of personally are here not to give up, right? But somehow go around the policy.
Yeah, so luckily I switched to another printer and so far so good.
Yeah, so the decks, just to let people know if they're interested in anything like this, they are available for pre-orders, right? And they can order it directly through you then. They can't buy it in any other.
Yeah, I will not put it. I mean, I will not put it in the marketplace. It will just be through pre-orders, and I will print as many as I'm ordered, and as I receive orders.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to be shipping all the time. I don't want to be taking care of selling decks all the time. So if I have in the future people asking me, maybe I'll do it again. But for now, it's a one-time reprint.
So if anybody is interested, the links to the pre-orders will be in the description box, just if anybody doesn't want to miss out and likes this type of work. Because I'm sure, you know, probably men are not too interested in this type of deck. It's probably feminine, females only, or anybody who considers themselves being a female, right? So they can reach out probably and take a look at the pre-orders. Do you want to say anything else about this kind of creative process of how you went around about, like, what was the idea behind? I know that was healing in the body, but what was the idea behind making those kind of very simple art? Like, how did you, you know, why did
I mean, you
you
had to
make them with
create one a
hands?
day. You had to create one a day, you know?
Ah,
It was one a day. So I was going straight to the point. And I think it's good. I
yeah,
think it's good to have straight to the point images. I
yeah,
like also when the decks have a lot of symbolism and imagery, but and what I get as a feedback from the users is really that it's on point. It's straightforward, it's honest, and it's on point.
yeah.
I mean, there's nothing to distract you. It's there in your face, and usually it creates some kind of reaction. You get a feeling, an emotion from seeing the card.
Yeah,
That's my experience also.
yeah,
So I didn't know it was because they are my cards, so I know what they mean and they trigger me. But I hear from other people as well.
yeah.
They are
No,
quite.
that's great, because I can sign up under this as well. Like they very, it's a simple art, but it's emotional. Like it's definitely awakens and kind of pulls your emotional strings. And I guess, you know, everybody went through a heartbreak at one point or another, you know, or but for better or the worse, the lighter ones or the really tough ones, right? So
But I think this is not about healing heartbreak. This goes deeper. I think the heartbreak, what did was open a bigger wound, a bigger wound.
she really wants to be on the screen.
And yeah, so this is more than, I mean, there's not one man in there, you know. This is not about relationships. This is really about finding your own value, finding your own appreciation without expecting the other to validate you and to give you the love that you need to look for within.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think maybe through the feedback of everybody on my cards, I got the love I needed. So it was still external validation, you know. It was still a process. I wasn't yet healed by making the cards, but it was helping me.
Yeah. And probably, you know, it's self-love, it's probably a lifelong lesson. It's like you go through these waves, and of course we arrive at the point, like I could probably honestly say that I do love myself, but I still have moments when I let myself down totally, you know, based on conditioning, based on situations, and it's definitely a life process that we deepening and deepening and deepening. But I definitely love seeing you just blossom, and you know, like you put out so much wonderful content. And maybe let's talk about those sculptures, because I think this is like my favorite part. I mean, I love cards, don't get me wrong. Everybody knows that about me, but hey, I love sculptures too. So how about the sculptures? Like, so you did the cards, did you do the sculptures before the deck? Or because from what I read,
yeah, it was before that I started doing sculptures. I joined. I think I didn't connect to my creativity. I didn't see myself as an artist. I didn't know which way to go to express all this creativity. Before I was making jewelry when I was younger, and when I was even younger, I was making collage actually, and I'm doing collage now.
yeah.
So I was looking for a way to express my creativity, but I never looked at myself as an artist. And by my looking into ways of expression, I keep joining classes of different things, and I ended up in a ceramic workshop in Barcelona, close to my house. And I started making pots and pans. And I was like, no, this is not very fun. And the first day we started making sculptures, I knew this is what was meant for me. And I've been, with the practice at the beginning, I was maybe not so good. But with the years, with the practice, now it's really enjoyable. I don't get so frustrated. Before, maybe I was getting frustrated, and now I've learned many lessons through the sculpting, many lessons, because you get frustrated, angry with yourself, you didn't take the right decision with the paint, and now it's ruined. And there's also a lot of self-work through the sculpting and the ceramic. And now, when a mishap happened, I just laugh. I just remember this one. You were not happy, and in the end, you love her, or you found a way around, or this.
Can you show
this one?
Yeah.
This one. She was a disaster. So I spent so much time making her and painting her. I don't like the painting. I like the sculpting, and I don't enjoy the painting. But I had this vision that she should be green and brown and yellow. So she had all those colors, and when she came out of the oven, I hated her. Yeah. And I was so depressed with the hours I put in, and that I ruined her with the paint. And in my dream, she came during the night, and she was gold. So I just bought gold paint that's supposed to go on anything, and I painted on top with the gold paint. And now I love her.
I love her too. Can you show the mama bear, or is it like you can't get up? She's on the other side. I love this one.
Yeah, this one, it took me a long time to make all the boobs.
Yeah, this reminds me, of Diana and
I love her back.
I love that. So the ideas like that comes through.
I was reading the book Diana. You just said Diana, no?
Yeah, Diana of Ephesus, right? With all this, yeah.
I was reading a book, Diana herself, it's called. And it's about finding your way through your wilderness. It's really wonderful, and it's about a bear in the end. I mean, I'm always inspired by what I'm doing in my psychological healing journey.
Yeah.
They're not random. The pieces I make, they're always connected to my current moment in my healing journey. So. Yeah.
I totally hear you. Whenever I used to make wands, people wanted to, do you do customs? And I'm like, no, I don't, unless I feel like whatever you want kind of sits with me right now, because I just remember whenever I used to connect to this flow, or whenever I say like, the muse visits, like I didn't know what's coming out. Like I was kind of in this flow. So things were kind of making themselves through me, but I couldn't, like whenever I was trying in the beginning to direct it, I want to make a wand about whatever this and this and this, or for this and this and this. It just never worked. So I decided I will never do customs or, something that I preconceive what it's going to be, unless I feel it, or unless it's something that is important.
I mean, I wouldn't mind doing customs if it were a goddess, tell me what goddess you want me to make, and then I can connect to the goddess. But I don't have the resources to do that, because I go to work every day and I have to pay the access to the workshop. So yeah, I'm dreaming of changing my life to be able to maybe have my own workshop and do my own and do more, because right now I create one ceramic in 2 months or so, because I don't go often and it takes time. So it's also why I can't offer customs, because I want to make them for me first. But if somehow I manage to have more time for this, I would love to.
Yeah. Well, I think the sculptures are definitely something out of this world. And if people love it as well, you sell them through Etsy shop, right? Through Etsy. Yeah, so people can, I will link it all below. You can guys take a look. So you basically a self-taught sculptor, like you went for classes, but it's not that you studied years at some academies or something. I love it.
Yeah, it's like DIY classes.
Yeah, but I love the rawness of the sculptures. I think that's what I love about your art, that it's kind of very pure and simple in, the form, but it's strong and really gets the most important message across. So I'm kind of always bored with all those pretty faces. You know how sometimes you have the ceramic kind of, even with jewelry, when people used to add crystals to stuff, and they always had those faces. I think they were from some form of form, because they were all the same. And they always kind of this pretty, half smiling.
The secret is not being able to do it. I cannot do better than what I'm doing. So.
Well, I might also have like a bit weird style, but I love the rawness, the different body shapes, different facial expressions, you know, different ages. Like obviously, you know, I'm like past 40 now, and I love to see a bit older women, also a bit kind of, you know, women who are older than me with wrinkles. Like I don't want to just look at, you know, 20 plus. So I think the sculptures are really amazing, and your Mary Magdalene sculptures, I love them, like so.
They didn't stay with me very long.
Yeah.
I didn't. I don't know. I'm happy they're out in the world, and I know they are loved. It's hard to let them go too.
Yeah. At some point, you know, I've been selling ones since 2010. So what is it now? 10 years. I remember in the beginning it was really hard to let go, but at some point I mean, there are pieces that I was like, oh no, like definitely would never let go, you know, my Sufi guy, or, you know, there's just no way. I'm selling some of the ones, but a lot of them I loved, and I just like, it's okay, go. I learned not to have those attachments. Somehow it just flew. But let's move on to the new project, to something that you are working on right now. I don't know, do you have anything that you could show us around you, or do you have to get it maybe?
I have to get it.
Could you get it? I'm
Sure.
going to pause, okay? Okay, so we're back with the mandalas. So the new project, it's called Moon Mandalas. And this is an oracle deck that you're creating, but also there is a wall calendar that you made with April, right? In cooperation. And also there's like I would say again, like deeper process that goes also behind that as well. It's not just about, I will make an oracle deck, right? It's just like a kind of sub-product. Yeah. So please tell us a little bit more about like, what are they, the moon mandalas?
So about a bit more than a year ago, I started working in a moon calendar, so in a moon journal. And what I do is that at every new moon, I plant intentions through the making of a mandala. And so I had no intention of making an oracle. I was just making my mandalas for my intentions. And so for example.
Okay, so it's like a collage, as you said, like you.
Sometimes I paint. There's also painted ones. I do mixed media. So sometimes I use pastels, sometimes I use acrylic. But there is almost always a piece of collage. But here, for example, is just papers that I've made and I've pasted. This is snake skin. You know, it's mixed media.
Yeah.
And April, what she does, this will be in the calendar.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I remember this one when you posted it on Instagram. I loved it.
And so April from The Moon Is My Calendar, she publishes every year a wall calendar with the circular like this. Circular calendar based on the moon cycle. And she offered me to use my mandalas for the wall calendar. So the next year wall calendar in 2021 will be with 12 of my mandalas. And she's been actually the one encouraging me to open up, to show myself. There are many things happening in my life in parallel that are pushing me to be more out, to show more my art. And she's one of those important pieces that's like, okay, I want to show what you're doing. I want to collaborate with you. Yeah. And through the process of creating the calendar, we even went deeper, because she said, how do you feel about writing a poem, a prayer that goes with the mandala? So then I had to connect back to, I had to connect back to why I created it. Yeah. And we made prayers from each mandala. And I think, and from there I started to think I should make an oracle, because behind each mandala there's a huge healing story again. And it's quite archetypical. It's quite archetypal.
Archetypal, yeah.
Archetypal. Because I do a lot of work towards healing the mother wound, relationship with my father, you know, I go every time it's a deeper layer that's being uncovered. There's a lot about sexuality. I'm moving from abusive relationships to sacred relationships. So I'm moving slowly on my path. And yeah, through my personal work, because I go to women's circles, I do a shamanic process. And so I don't go to therapy. This is my therapy. And then I express what I feel, the breakthrough I have, I express them in my mandalas. And that's how somehow I managed to integrate it.
So can I ask you from like the practical point of view, when you set the intention for the new moon, over, like you've done it now for over a year, or yeah. Like did you notice that this actually manifests, that when you focus your energy on certain intention with the cycle, it actually...
So it doesn't happen in one cycle. It's not from the new moon to the full moon. It's from the new moon in one sign to the full moon in the next sign. So 6 months in the same sign. So 6 months later. So it's a 6-month cycle.
Okay.
So when you see an intention on the new moon in Aquarius, 6 months later, the full moon will be in Aquarius. And I can go back to what did I plan when the new moon was in Aquarius? Oh my God, yeah.
Oh, that's
why this took me a while to realize the depth and the power of it, because you don't realize it within the same cycle. It takes a while. It takes a while between when you plant a seed and when you see the flower.
I love that. I didn't know that. I thought you're doing from new moon to new moon. And sometimes, you know, that's why I asked, because sometimes I found personally for myself, like, it's not working because it's too short. Like, it's like, how can you, like, if you have something like a true intention that you want to really incorporate, I mean, different intentions, right? Sometimes it works and you need just a week or 1 day or 1 hour to do something. But sometimes you have deeper work to do. Like, I'm like, how can you do it in a month? And it's kind of, and then the cycle's over. But that makes total sense to me right now when you said that. That's wonderful. That's really...
And it can even take longer, you know. You can be after 6 months, you can be at a midpoint to the rest of your dream, you know. But it's another chance to pursue it. At this full moon, you can realize, okay, this is what I planted. I'm at this point. I have to put those intentions to make it happen. You know, I have to change a little my intentions. And
sometimes you shift also, or you know, with experience, you know, okay, I don't really want to add this. I want to add that or whatever. I want to go this direction and not this one. So interesting.
This is the work I do with April. She's a teacher of this. She's a teacher of the cycle of the. I want to credit her, you know, because this is her work. This is what she's teaching, the connection to the cycles.
You know, with I actually got to, well, I didn't meet April, but when I was doing the workshop with Chris Ann at some point, April was invited as like a guest speaker. So this is the first time when I found out about her. But you know how we go through different periods and different, I was just not too interested this time to do the slow moon work, you know. So
it's very slow.
I know. And I was just like, okay, this is just not the right time for me. But I really appreciated April. And I think I would love to maybe invite her on Inspired Tarot Map as well, just to share her work as well with tarot people, because I think she does wonderful work as well. And I think Jessica Zinchuk, you know, the one who created Story Medicine Tarot, I think they kind of, you know, the similar, different but similar type of work. So I'm totally, you know, inspired by women like this, and especially that it's so different to my build up, because I'm like skinny airy and like, let's do it fast and let's not think about it. Let's move. So when I see these women, they speak slower, you know, they bring kind of this sense of, okay, Kasia, it's okay to have a breather, you know. So I love it. That's really cool. So with the mandala, moon mandalas as an oracle deck, because that sounds really fascinating. Would you be doing also like a companion book, or will it be?
Yeah, for sure. I think this will be different from the Inner Queen. The Inner Queen was done in a month, and it was like really fast, really intense, and I put a little guidebook with why I created it and a bit of guidance. But this one, I think I might write something bigger. I think it will take me time. It will take me more time, and that's why I created my Patreon.
Yeah.
Because I will be sharing on Patreon the process, and it will take me some time to build up a deck, because now I have about 24 mandalas, and I want to get at least 50 before I publish.
Thank God that you didn't say 30, or I'm like, I can't shuffle those. I just don't know what it is. I don't like those thin decks. It's like,
yeah, well, I'm just publishing one of 12 with the wall calendar from April. We have decided to publish the 12 mandalas that are in the calendar in cards with the prayers on the back. What I wanted to do. Nice. And yeah, it's the first feel of the how it works, in the card. But yeah, my plan is to make a bigger deck of 50 mandalas, and to make a book, and maybe find a publisher to do it a bit more professional. Professional.
Cool. Have you ever thought about Kickstarter or anything like this, or like
not
when
yet.
the deck is going to be ready? Let's say when you have the art ready, maybe you could kickstart to gather, money for publishing for the book. Maybe I'm just curious.
Anyway. I mean, that's why I did the Patreon. I did the Patreon not to get funded for this. On my Patreon is really sharing the healing process and going in depth, explaining why I created the mandala. And so it's really a place to read authentic healing process. But I don't know. It depends. Depends how much money I need. It depends. It's not in the near future. It's gonna take a while. So
yeah. So you have 25. It took you over a year, probably.
So probably one more year. Yeah. Until I have 50.
And then we don't know what's. Maybe there will be some new options. Maybe you do this, and the deck will be printed. And I know that you're a Gemini, right? And yeah, I think all this Aquarian energy that is coming, that's going to be really great for you. So I'm like, kind of, when I saw your chart, I was just going, oh yeah, I like it. This is going to be really good for the for the airy energy, and to putting things out there, and to publishing and printing, and hopefully sharing it with wider public. So just to wrap up about the Patreon, you're also sharing there about the Venus journey that you're doing.
Yeah, I'm doing Venus cards too. This is different, but same but different. So I'm doing Venus cards. So I started this year to follow the Venus cycle. I had no idea about this, and it's fascinating, and it's very deep and complicated, but I'm trying to just I'm staying to the first level, I think, of the game, and I'm learning how Venus is affecting me, and she's affecting me a lot. The transit and everything, it's very, very powerful. And so I create cards with my process with the Venus cycle. It's my Venus return this year.
So you got the Gemini Venus return. Awesome. See, I went into this Venus, I think when Venus went into Libra, something happened to me. It was like, I think, was it 2017? Suddenly I was just like, Venus, and I had always this like Venus and Mars. That's when I did, like, I think it was 2017. I did this seed. It's a seed. And I wanted this Mars and Venus archetypes together. I don't know, but funny enough, when I was watching you, I also first time actually follow the Venus cycle with the gates and with the other underworlds, not the short, which we just had, the retrograde, but the other longer retrograde. I find it so fascinating too. So it's a powerful work. So if anybody's more interested into it, like you sharing about this on your Patreon.
Patreon,
Yeah, cool. So people can just check it out. I'm going to link all the links below. But to finish off, can I ask you maybe, how do you use your deck? Or do you just like pull one card, and obviously you created it, so, it's a bit different, but would you have maybe something you could share with people? Like if they like the deck, if they have it, like how would they use it? Would you just pull one card, write about it, pull more? What do you do with it?
I would use it to connect to your body. If you have a strong emotion and you don't know where it comes from and you don't know why you're feeling like you're feeling, you should pull a card and try to connect with your body and see what reacts in you and if you get clarity. And also what I did for a very long time is have them hang up in my bathroom, and when I was naked, look at myself in the mirror, and I had, that's why there is an affirmation card in the deck that says I am the goddess. So you can put this card in front of your mirror in your next to your mirror in your bathroom and look at yourself and look at yourself in the eyes, tell yourself you love yourself, look at your body, hug your body. I mean, it's something I did for a long time, to have some of those cards in my bathroom and remind myself, like, love your body, love yourself.
Nice. And this is beautiful because I often use tarot cards or oracle cards as this type of like medallions, you know, to just remind you about something, or manifestation or magical kind of props to manifest things and to accept things, to love things, to remind myself about things I'm kind of want to remember. So it's a great way to put them around and just I am a goddess. We are. Well,
and also there's one blank card, you know, in the deck, and this is for you to draw your own body type on. I think it's important that you just allow yourself to draw your body type and write your own affirmation, or if you want to use it as a significator, you can write your name. You can put it in the deck or use it like this as an affirmation card.
Yeah, that's cool. That everybody can find their own kind of way to get into the deck. I'm in the deck. So cool. Letty, thank you so much. I think we're going to wrap it up, and people will find all the links below. I follow you mostly through your Instagram, your Patreon. You started making videos. I hope more will be coming. And all the best with creating of the moon mandalas. And I'm going to probably approach April as well. I think it would be lovely to have her on as well and share her wealth of knowledge about the moon and all of this stuff. So thank you so much for coming over, for sharing your wonderful art and those amazing sculptures. People, if you like sculptures, support this woman because they are amazing. And thank you for sharing all these beautiful ways to, just accept and love ourselves. I think that's great work. So thanks, Letty.
Thank you so much, Kazia.
Thanks, lovely. And I speak to you soon, everybody. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.